On this week's Tony and Josh show, let go my ego. Or we can't blame it on the waffles, but these hot item out of the toaster lands these parents in hot water. And you know the old saying, all good things must come to an end. Now when you say, just read it for the articles, you'll be more accurate than you think.
Scott me up, Beamy. Okay, Star Trek tech is now within reach thanks to the scientists who have developed a real-life tractor beam. Everybody loves a good story of karma. A person getting what's due to them for something they've done. Sounds nice and pleasant, doesn't it? Well, just wait. I'll, of course, disrupt your little mental utopia on the next Tony and Josh show.
Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Hey, greetings everybody, and hello to our Mixlr audience tonight. This is episode 94. If you're new to the Tony and Josh show, we're here to inform, entertain, and give you a laugh or two. We've searched the interwebs and found these earth-shaking stories to bring to you tonight.
Oh, tonight we have a Parents of the Year award to give away, and this one's a doozy. Star Trek for the Everyman is closer than you think. Scientists have developed a real-life tractor beam. Everybody loves a good story of karma, a person getting what's due to them for something that they've done. Sounds nice and pleasant, doesn't it? Well, just wait. And it's the end of an era. The Centerfold will never be the same again. One of the world's most beloved and prolific publications of all time is changing their format. It's probably not as shocking as you may think.
You mispronounced prophylactic. But first, we want you guys to give us a call using our SpeakPipe feature on our website at TonyandJosh.com. Tweet us during the show at Tony and Josh Show. And don't forget to include us in your other tweets, any tweets with the hashtag Tony and Josh.
That's right. Well, we do have one way for you guys to get a hold of us, and that's our voicemail feature. It's a SpeakPipe feature over there on our website, TonyandJosh.com. You'll see it right there on the right side of the page, whichever way that is for our live viewers. And just click on that. It's like a voicemail service on the internet. All you need is a smartphone or a tablet or a computer with a microphone hooked up to it. You guys can leave us a great message. Do we have any voicemails tonight, Tony?
Yes, we do. And give me just a second here so I can get ready. I'm really juggling a lot of knobs tonight, and I don't mean that in a fun way either. So
I was going to say,
but anything we could do to bring on a better show for you guys. So getting the audio devices selected and getting over here for our first Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G. And, whenever you guys get talking about space and planets and everything, you guys always make a Uranus joke. And I am so tired of Uranus being the butt of the planet jokes. It's a play on words. And about the midget having sex with the vacuum cleaner, I'm going to go for the obvious joke and just say, it sucked. Just a little.
Just a
All right,
little.
guys. I'll chat at you later. Have a good one. Bye.
Now, none of the midgets out there enjoyed your just a little measuring thing, Josh. That was inappropriate and very hurtful.
I heard a 2-word joke today.
Oh.
You'd believe that, I know, right? That there could be such a funny saying or a joke that could be only 2 words long.
Well, Democrats 3, so.
Well, midget shortage.
Well, there's not a lot of midgets around, so I can see that.
There's not. There's it's an epidemic, I think, almost.
Oh, that's just sad. All right. Well, anyway, so that's a great voicemail, Nikki G. Thank you for the very near humor. We love the very close to humor. It's almost like a Pluto flyby.
Got to listen to the whole show, folks.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We would appreciate it.
Something else you guys have got to do is send in those reviews. Now, we are all over the interwebs, guys, and we even have our own site.
In a good way.
YouTube is one of those, of course, but also iTunes, and that's where you guys can find our podcast amongst other places. We'd appreciate if you guys not only subscribe to our feed there, but also gave us a 5-star review and left us a nice little comment. Those comments we will, of course, each and every time read live on the air.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any tonight, but that's all right. I mean, we're almost coming up on 100 shows on the Tony and Josh show.
We know how big of a deal we really are. We know how good we are.
So
I guess that's all that really matters.
Why would we expect anybody to take the time and send us a review? No, we do get lots of reviews. We just don't have any tonight, and we really appreciate everybody that has sent in a review in the past. And we just like to have more. We're just like that kid, just like that 2-year-old. Just give me more, ice cream,
that
whatever it takes.
Cake.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, what do we got for tonight, Joshy?
Well, noteworthy news, as I like to call it, racism is still happening. Just ask students at the University of Missouri. Car makers are still fudging emissions reports, and Volvo may now be getting lumped in with Volkswagen. GOP presidential hopefuls won't be getting backing from the billionaire Koch brothers because, well, they're not conservative enough. Flu season is here, and so is a report outlining just how ineffective those vaccines really are. SEMA just happened, and if you want a reason to hate your salary, just do a Google search for cool SEMA stuff. And the medical field just released good news for dialysis patients. They are very close to perfecting a wearable artificial kidney. That is huge for anybody out there with kidney failure. And something, planes falling out of the sky, blah, 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 blowing up apartment buildings, yada, yada, we're all going to die, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
now, Tony would like to thank the audience for allowing us to ear rape you for 30 minutes each and every week.
Now, let's take a quick pause. I'm trying to get the green screen working. It's been so long since we've done the video. I have lost the background. It's just you floating. You're like in a floating head in my room here.
Floating head, is that like Oral in outer space?
Oh man, talk about a bad cleanup. That stuff would go everywhere. I wonder if it would be strong enough to produce a momentary thrust. That's a double entendre. And this is just the outtakes, guys. Well, I'm just going to turn it off, and you're going to have a green screen as your background.
You know.
I can turn the audio off for the.
Well, no, don't turn the audio off. They need to hear one of us.
the audio off for the voicemail that we just played. All right. Well, it's not going to look like much, but it's a show. All right. Let's take a quick pause here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to thank the audience for allowing us to ear rape you. You didn't read this, did you?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't read. I
Yeah.
try not to. I'm trying to cut back.
It's like math with letters. Okay.
That's right. Exactly. And I was
You can-
told, damn it, there'd be no math.
You can use that, by the way. It's, it's like math with letters. All right. Hang on. Another pause. So I want to thank you guys for allowing us to ear rape you for 30 minutes each week, which I think is a direction and not something I'm actually supposed to read. I just want to take a moment and thank you guys for taking the time to download or stream our podcast and listen to Josh and I act up, talk about random things for 30 minutes. So don't forget the bad dad jokes either, because I really enjoy that part. It means a lot that you're here. And if you weren't, well, there'd be no reason for us to be here. There'd be a couple of reasons, but we like it better. We wouldn't feel as important as we do if you weren't here. So we just want to say thank you.
Well, you're not going to be saying thank you to a very familiar magazine title anytime soon.
No more saluting this magazine.
No, and there's going to be far fewer sticky pages in the universe, I think, after this announcement.
So this is a relatively old story, but I was mentioning this to my wife earlier today, and she goes, "You're kidding, right?" No. Playboy is no longer going to be publishing nude photos.
It's so sad.
After 62 years of naked women and nosy 13-year-old boys, Playboy has made the decision to stop publishing their magazine with naked women. Or as I like to say, NNW, no naked women. No, they're not switching to naked men or even shaved animals wearing lace undergarments, etc. The magazine's founder says he can go to you can go to the internet and see
he can too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. And go to the internet and see as much nakedness as you want. Playboy can't compete with free, or at least something along those lines. He's old, so it's probably more like that.
The boobs.
Why is this mouth sticky? Yeah. So no longer will the old standby joke, "I just read Playboy for the articles," apply to those awkward conversations. Oh man, one of my favorite jokes, "I'm just here for the articles," is not, in 20 years, Josh, people are, unless you're a historian, people are going to look at you funny like, well, that's all Playboy is articles. What are you talking about? And I don't think it's going to be, maybe it will be, but I don't think it's going to be like the Penthouse Forum thing where it was just stories of things that you could do
I foresee Playboy kind of going the route of Maxim magazine or Esquire or GQ.
Are those no longer in service? I mean, they no longer publish those magazines, or?
Well, publications are kind of going the way of the Dodo Bird and the 8-track.
Yeah.
It's just, we have our phones to read on the toilet now. We don't need magazines. It's just one of these things. We're living in a digital era. And so where, website subscriptions are going up, the actual publication subscriptions are going down. So why keep dumping money into an aspect of your business model that's just losing money? Start switching your plan up a little bit. And that's exactly what Playboy is doing. They're basically switching their business model to more closely represent what the demand for this kind of content is coming from.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they haven't gone exclusively digital. I mean, if people are looking at naked women on the internet, be on the internet with naked women. I mean, give the people what they want. And I guess it's just hard to get people to pay for it.
Well, I'm wondering what they're going to take pictures of now. I mean, there's got to be a lot of Playboy photographers that are on the payroll that are probably wondering, well, what the hell am I going to do now?
That's true. I'm sure there's going to still be pretty girls. I guess that they're just not going to be naked. So it's very.
Well, damn it, they better have something to look at.
It's well, they're going to be spending money on writers, I guess. So, or maybe they're going to have the women writing the articles.
This is just a page with letters on it. What the?
I could see that from the local newspaper. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know, Josh. Have you ever read an article in Playboy? I don't think I ever have.
I cannot confirm nor deny that those sort of publications have ever graced my hands.
Okay. I can go with that.
But I'm sure you guys all pretty much know the story.
Did you ever, as a young man or a kid, did you ever steal any Playboy magazines?
Oh, I've actually got an interesting story in that regard, which not too many people really know. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and actually share a story from my youth with the greater world, as it were.
All right.
When I was growing up, I think I was in double digits at this point in time. There was an orchard next to where I used to live, and in the midst of this orchard, right in the middle, was an old garage of sorts. Think of what was left over from a barn, but it looked more like a garage. Out in the middle of literally the middle of this orchard field, it's a cherry orchard. I used to eat myself sick of cherries each and every summer. Well, inside of this garage was boxes upon cardboard boxes of decades worth of pornography magazines.
Oh my God, the motherlode.
And I'm talking about back black and white 1930s, 1940s to, at the time, this would have been mid to early 80s. So, there's a spread for you. So you can imagine the type of stuff that I saw as a young kid. Now, this is my first exposure to the world of sex as it was. Now, I knew about the birds and the bees. I'd had, sex education at school or what have you. And I pretty much knew how the plumbing worked and all that stuff, but I'd never seen anything. So all I had was ideas and, what I saw on TV and stuff, which back then we had 4 channels, so there really wasn't a lot to see.
Yeah.
So when I stumbled upon this discovery of epic proportions for any young boy, well, you can imagine what I did. I pretty much spent every last moment of my free time out in that cherry orchard, sifting through cardboard boxes, looking for something new.
Did you say sniffing or sifting?
Yeah. And so I didn't have to steal. I didn't have to sneak. And being exposed at an early age to such a thing and at such a level, I mean, the volume of images that flooded this young man's mind was unprecedented. So I was pretty well stocked up in the spank bank category for years to come.
So you, what you're saying is you felt bad and you punished yourself.
Yes, repeatedly. I'm sure. Now I'm really having a hard time seeing.
You lose a little piece of your brain every time, Josh.
Something, anyways.
Well, that had to been fun. What years were what was the range on that? I mean, was it like the 60s or the magazines?
No, the publication, and there were literally thousands upon thousands of them. There were dozens and dozens
Oh my God.
of cardboard boxes.
Oh my God.
Full. No, this was, and I honestly, all perversion aside, I to this day wish with every ounce of my being that I could have that collection. Not for the sake of the pornographic value of it, but for the historical value.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am talking about the very earliest examples of pornographic publications, 1930s, 1940s type of, the what do they call them? Not the slasher, not the swinger, the gals that used to, anyways, flapper dressing. And I'm talking 20s, 30s, 40s. Black and white, grainy as all hell, and bush for days. And it went from there to modern day for the most part. So we are talking about, late 70s, early 80s at that point. So that was my spread of I got to see, 40 years of porno in a very small period of time.
Were the articles any good?
I told you I can't read. No, I mean, I was, what was I? I was 10, 11 years old, something like that. And, you see something like that for the first time, you don't start diving into the articles.
Look, a coupon. Yeah. So
this is still good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so you didn't actually steal them. If you had, but you have stolen memories, but you wouldn't consider yourself a dumb criminal, would you?
No, but this person certainly would be. Now, this is a dumb criminal story with a twist and a whip and maybe even a ball gag.
A purple.
Yeah, it was purple. No, Junior wasn't the brightest bulb in the sign. In fact, we're pretty sure that his sign was mostly burnt out to begin with. Junior was a particularly unlucky individual. You see, Junior had chosen a life of crime as his career path. Oh, sure, milkman or astronaut was certainly on the table. No, not for poor Junior. It was remedial math, then straight to jacking cars, or whatever troubled teens fresh out of school do to start a life of crime. Junior tried to be a drug dealer. He failed. He tried stealing cars. He failed. He inevitably picked the wrong ones because the only way Junior would ever be able to take off with a car was if it was parked on a hill and he could get it into neutral. Junior tried his luck at identity theft. He failed at that too. Turns out you need to know how to read and write pretty good to be good at that sort of stuff. Junior wasn't very good at robbing homes either. It always seemed to be his luck that he'd find the house with no money, a tube TV, and a 27-year-old VHS player as the most up-to-date piece of electronics in the house. It seemed the only thing Junior was really good at was holding people up. I'm not talking about running around and providing support to strangers as they faint. I mean, stick him up. This is a robbery type of holdup. Well, many years had gone by, and sure, Junior had done his fair share of time as a petty criminal, but hey, if you find something you're good at, you kind of stick with it. It was recently, however, that a now 32-year-old Junior would find a reason, Junior would be given a reason, repeatedly, to change his path in life the day he decided to rob the Diet Now, Wax It Later, Wash and Curl hair salon. You see, the owner was a 28-year-old black belt who was having a bad hair day and a bout of cramps that would have floored a rhinoceros. We'll call her Olga. Olga saw Junior walk in and knew instantly he wasn't there for a brown eye bleaching or an eyebrow wax. That's when Junior made the biggest mistake of his life. Now, he could have walked in, sized up Olga, and said, "Nah, I'm plumb full of naked oil wrestling, angry 140-pound man hating badgers today. I think I'll go on my way." And he could have walked right out of that hair salon. Instead, Junior decided to do what he did best. And he pulled out his little pistol on Olga and demanded her money. Now, we know the state of mind that Olga was in, so I bet you can take a wild guess at what happened next. That's right. They hooked up, got married, and lived happily ever after. No, of course not. That sort of nonsense has no place here on a show like this. Olga, of course, proceeded to beat the living shit out of Junior for what I'm sure seemed like an eternity. When he regained consciousness, he discovered he was sore. Very sore. And not just in a couple places either. He was also in unfamiliar territory, tied to a chair and naked. And fully erect. Now, what happened next is going to be up for debate as to whether or not it can be classified as torturous behavior. We, of course, don't have any idea of what Olga looks like from this report, and I was completely guessing with that 140-pound comment. I mean, she could be a huge wildebeest of a woman, or she could be hot. But for the sake of this story and the fact that she was a second-degree black belt in karate, and that this happened in Russia, I'm picturing an ass-kicking supermodel. The mental image is a little teaspoon of sugar that's going to help the medicine go down. For you see, it was that medicine which Junior was fed for the 3 days the would-be victim kept him subdued. But it wasn't the horrific type of medicine I'm sure you're thinking of. No, it wasn't gallons of laxatives or hair restoration medicine or anything like that. It was Viagra. Junior was fed a steady diet of Viagra for 3 days. Yes, nearly half a week of nothing but little blue pills and forced sex. There is where the sugar helps. You see, because if she's hot, then this doesn't seem like a bad story after all. But if she's a hideous creature of several hundred pounds and bad complexion, then you can see how the story takes a rather quick turn for the worse. After Junior escaped, I told you he was lucky, he went straight to the police and confessed everything. And then she made me eat nothing but Viagra and forced me to have sex with her for hours on end, day after day. And the police department uttered a collective, and Olga was found and arrested as well. Her statement upon being handcuffed was short and sweet. She said, yes, we had sex a couple of times, but I bought him new jeans. Bought him new jeans, Tony.
Well, I mean, if you buy them jeans, it's all fine and good in Russia. So I'm trying to think of in Russia, and I can't think of
when in Rome, I don't know. This one is, now what would you, I'm guessing that this would be something that might live with you for a long time, especially if Olga had the gift that kept on giving. But I don't know that this would necessarily be considered torturous behavior or something that I would necessarily go to the police with and demand that this person be arrested for.
I would definitely not go to the police if I was robbing somebody and they turned the tables on me, because whether I was at the police station or in jail, I would be laughed at profusely.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so that's not going to happen. And Josh, I understand that in porno movies, the kung fu master, the black belt in karate or whatever she was, would be this unbelievably attractive yet voracious supermodel.
Yes. Indeed.
And the guy would just be this average looking Joe, kind of like you and I. So, we look at it and go, wow, I'm going to start a life of crime. It's worth it. And obviously it's not going to be that way. That she's going to be the closest thing to a Russian bear as possible, including the fur, ample amount of fur, and winterized blubber. So for the naps. So I'm just telling you that it's an interesting story. It's a funny story, and it's even funnier when you think about what it would be in reality, how it really is. So I'm sure the Viagra was very much needed to make the event happen.
I would love to see some fan art of some of our stories.
Well, speaking of fan art, I don't know this would actually be considered an Artful Dodger, but Dusty Old Dunn provided us this little news clip.
I have to give thanks where thanks is due. Now, Dusty sent us, he's a longtime fan of the show, and he occasionally sends us stories, as you can too, to info@tonyandjosh.com. He sends us stories every now and again that certainly fit the criteria for making it on this program. And although this was really not much more than a newspaper clipping, I had to expand on the story, do some research, and a little bit of creative writing as well. So, but thank you very much, Dusty Dunn, and we were thank you guys in advance to sending your story suggestions to info@tonyandjosh.com.
So if you thought that story was attractive, you're going to like this one. This is about tractor beams. If you are a Star Trek fan, you know all about tractor beams. Tractor beans or tractor beans, which beans are very good that attract you.
Mr. Bean in space.
Oh,
boy, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's repulsive. A repulsive force. So tractor beams. This technology. This technology was used by Egyptians to move 100-ton plus block stone blocks from quarries hundreds of miles away and lift those same blocks into precise alignment to build the pyramids.
Yes,
Now,
aliens.
now, well, no, it's just wait for it. Now, modern day man has harnessed this same technology, and what are we playing with? Balls. Well, of course, you got to
How
think
did
about
you
it.
know what I'm doing down here?
Little tiny
seriously.
lightweight polystyrene balls using 64 speakers. People are the hard-headed rockers out there going, yeah, 64 speakers, man.
Well, you
Using
got my attention.
64 speakers that operate in the 400 kilohertz range, scientists are able to create low and high pressure zones and literally float the solid objects in midair. Now, of course, this is just something that they've just recently done. We're not lifting 100-ton blocks, and of course, that's just a theory that the Egyptians used sound waves. If you're an ancient astronauts or ancient aliens watcher, you know that at some point they talk about lifting the blocks that made the pyramids with sound waves. They don't tell.
Let me give you guys some a tiny bit of education and a little perspective. The human ear can hear from about 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. And that's our range of hearing, and
Right.
most of us fall within a little bit under, or within those boundaries.
Yeah, depending
So
on how you live
40
your life.
kilohertz, nearly twice the level of not twice the level, twice the frequency of which we're going to be able to hear it. I mean, this is above sonic. I mean,
Mhm.
this is extremely high frequencies, way out of the range of what we can hear.
Now,
So-
a dog or a dolphin would be able to hear this, according to the article that I read, and it would probably be loud enough at 150 decibels, I believe that what
Good
they were talking
Lord.
about. Yes, very loud, that it would be enough to irritate said pup, and he would probably run away. So they're pumping out some tunes here, and these tunes you won't be able to hear. So it would be akin to magic. You wouldn't hear or feel anything. I get the feeling that some people might notice it in some way, maybe a vibration that they couldn't quite put their finger on, or maybe those reports of ghostly aberrations must be floating around some nearby, because I have this weird feeling. You have to think that 150 decibels at any frequency range, you're going to have some sense of it.
So 130 decibels would be like a jackhammer on pavement. 140 decibels is going to be somewhere around your average pistol or sidearm. 150 decibels gets you in the range of commercial grade fireworks, or explosions in a mine or something like that.
Mhm.
150 decibels is extremely loud. We're talking louder than a pistol going off within an inch of your ear.
Well, we're talking about playing with balls here, so you got
We are.
you got to use some miraculous amplitude to make that happen. So it's really cool. I recommend everybody go over to Google and search this thing and see what they're doing. It's the precise timing of these 64 speakers that they can turn the 150 decibels on frequency on in a millionth of a second and turn it off. And then, and
Here's what I'm wondering: if they use, why 64? Why not 63? Why not
it's not
80?
It's not binary.
Well, I'm thinking,
This is-
64 is got to be, so it's by 64, 128, et cetera, et cetera. You guys get the idea. It's I was told to be
computer.
no math, but yeah.
It's computer stuff. So looking forward to seeing more of this. Of course, the part of the story that I read was more about a repulsive type beam, but you could also use it. They have been able to manipulate the sound waves in such precise amounts that they can use sound like a pair of tweezers and grab
Yes.
a particle and bring it in or move it out.
Have you seen the video of this in action, Tony?
No, I have not. I only saw the image in the
video.
article.
The video that I saw was a scientist holding a small grid, and this small grid was about, I'm going to say, about 2.5 inches square. Had some heat sinks and electronics and wires and stuff hooked up to it and whatnot. I mean, it was handheld. How they were using it was, this little, styrene ball or whatever that was being suspended an inch and a half off the surfaces of this thing. And they could push that ball around, they could pull it back, they could hold it upside down, and basically defying gravity with this. So this isn't just repulsor beam technology. This really is tractor beam technology. They're like Tony said, literally going out with invisible tweezers and grabbing grabbing an item sonically and being able to move it around in space in full 3D.
Now, we'll mention, you mentioned the word space, and you weren't using it as in outer space, but it did make me think of this. This technology would not work in outer space because air, or at least a medium of some sort, is required. I mean, a speaker works on sound.
What I think this might end up doing, because radio waves can travel through space, but those are electromagnetic. So I'm thinking that the technology that stems from this to be used in space is going to be, instead of using airwaves or sound waves, they're going to be using microwaves.
Or maybe dark matter or dark energy.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Dun, dun, dun. So let's get to our last story of the evening.
It's not about a penis.
I'm sure it's about a penis.
Guys, for a while there, I was on a roll.
Don't be a dick.
Hell, right? Well, I decided I'm kind of switching things up, and although I will get back to those kind of stories every now and again, I figured this one is definitely worth a mention. Now, this couple wins Parent of the Year award, at least according to this podcast. A South Carolina couple is facing criminal charges for allegedly forcing their teenage daughter to... Now, we can stop right there and fire up a rousing game of guess the rest of the sentence. We'll save that sort of debauchery for another show. No, this couple wins Parents of the Year award for forcing their kid to live in the woods as a form of punishment. Wait,
camping out?
So that's a thing now? Look, when I was a kid, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, so you want me to leave and go stay in the woods and not come back for a while? All right. Now I can finally finish that fort I've been working on for the last few weeks. James and Crystal Driggers, that's Driggers, spelled with a DR, not an N.
Made me nervous.
Are accused of not allowing their 14-year-old to enter their home for at least 2 days because she ate a Pop-Tart without their permission.
Oh, my God.
Well, she's lucky she didn't end up with another black eye. She was told once already, damn it. Okay, that was in bad taste, I know. But look, I'm not about to start apologizing for stuff I say in bad taste here on the show. What sort of host would I be anyways?
30 minutes of apologizing.
Yes. The girl was reportedly told not to come home for a week. Well, see, there you go. Little brat doesn't know how to listen. They told her to stay out for a week. She comes back in an hour. Don't kids listen to their parents anymore? Okay, now the parents did not send her out without provisions or a plan. I mean, they're not monsters or anything. She was provided with a single roll of toilet paper, a whistle, a flashlight, and a watch. That's a smorgasbord of survival equipment to Bear Grylls, so she would have been fine. The girl was told to pitch a tent in the woods, and someone from her household would deliver her food at specific times at a specific location. They gave the meals and location cute little code names like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dining room table. All sounds like Greek to me, but whatever works. The girl's grandmother was able to take her in and report her situation to police, but after a short while, police discovered that she was sent back out. I'm guessing she started in on Nana's Pop-Tarts and the old bag just snapped. Well, the parents were arrested and faced one count of unlawful neglect of a child and could face more. The grandmother lost her damn mind and couldn't remember anything except a recipe for some really good fudge. The real victim in this case, the Pop-Tart in question, which was never, ever recovered. Tony?
Oh, Pop-Tarts. How I love ye. Now, when you eat Pop-Tarts, do you actually put them in the
I've
toaster?
Got a science. There is a whole science to my Pop-Tart madness here. So I discovered something recently that I have yet to try, and I haven't had a Pop-Tart in quite a long time. It's been a while.
Pop-Tarts and gravy.
No, you're close. You're closer than you may think. Oh
wow!
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So one of the guys I work with, we were deep into a Pop-Tart conversation like we are now. And he went on to describe how he enjoys his Pop-Tarts toasted with butter.
Okay, I can see that.
Butter on a Pop-Tart.
Mm-hmm. Makes it go down better.
No, I do prefer my Pop-Tarts slightly warm. I will take toasted or microwaved for approximately 8 seconds. I eat the crust first and work my way into the gooey, yummy center.
So you cruise around the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Teasing that baby.
No, that's a Pop-Tart rim job right there.
Teasing that baby before you dive into this ooey, gooey, juicy center. Yes, make the Pop-Tart wanted. I got you. So...
So all this over a Pop-Tart, Tony. Now, look, I've done my fair share of bad stuff as a kid and had my fair share of punishment. Everything from a spatula or wooden spoon being broke over my ass to a nice tanning, if you will, by the belt. Buckle first. No, I'm kidding. But nowadays, I don't know what works for kids, because back in my day, you had to beat kids, really, because there was nothing to take away. What are you going to take away? My rocks and twigs? I mean, come on. I don't have any toys to take away. What are you going to do? Ground me to my room? Well, so nowadays, at least you can take the kid's Xbox away or something like that, and or cell phone, something like that. That really teaches a good lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure these parents were at their wits' end. A 14-year-old girl, come on. That was a little bitch that was just experimenting with her, independence, as it were. So, yeah, I'm sure she was a snot-nosed kid that just didn't listen to a single thing her parents said.
Well, I may be wrong. Maybe I got lucky because I never, we
had to beat your kids, huh, Tony?
We never had any problems with our girls like that. And there are people out there that do have problem children. So, but just from my limited experience with two daughters, I don't think it would be necessary to send them out into the woods or in a van down by the river. I was listening to that podcast the other day that we did. That was funny.
Free candy.
So I don't know. I'm just thinking that they didn't do their parenting job properly.
No, like I said, Parents of the Year award to the Driggers, as it were. So, if you guys have a Parent of the Year award story, well, we want to hear it. Let's say you are a candidate for Parent of the Year award. What have you done to your kids recently that you might be ashamed of? You can remain anonymous. Easy for me to say, but you got to send in that story either way.
Yeah,
send it to info@tonyandjosh.com, or you guys can give us a quick call over at our SpeakPipe. Just head over to tonyandjosh.com.
Hey, don't forget about us on Facebook. We'd love to see what you have to say over there, like Dusty L. Dunn has done with numerous stories given to us right on the Facebook. We're also on the Twitter, Tony and Josh Show, at Tony and Josh Show. And you can send, add the little hashtag Tony and Josh Show. So we look forward to seeing more from you on the social media and more from you on our live shows.
Hey, don't forget about our Walking Dead bonus segment. You guys can catch that each and every week. After the show, it is an extra download, guys. We are giving you some extra content. So if you're a fan of zombies and all that is Walking Dead, all you got to do is head over to tonyandjosh.com, find our extra downloads. You guys can join in on the fun as well.
Oh, and if I didn't mention during the regular show, we are now trying out Mixlr, Mixlr. It's an app that you can put on your phone. And we're going to be broadcasting live. I mean, we've had a successful test tonight, Josh, so I think we're going to be broadcasting live on Mixlr. So if you're out and about on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central Time, and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to listen to this lady talk anymore. I'm going to slide one of these earbuds into my ear and listen to Tony and Josh Show. Well, you'll be able to do that on Mixlr. So just download Mixlr to the app to your phone, iPhone, Android. Hell, they may even have it for the Microsoft Windows phone. Who knows? You'll be able to listen to us live. So we're trying to bring the show to you in various ways. We're also on YouTube. You can watch us on the YouTube Live, also on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central. So stick around if you got nothing else better to do, because Josh and I are going to talk about The Walking Dead. This is Now, right? The episode called Now, I believe.
Now or then? Wait.
Or later? This would be a good...
later.
Who's on first? Who's on first routine? Yeah. So we're gonna ramp this thing back up. We're gonna talk about The Walking Dead here in just a few minutes. So stick around and listen to all that. And you can always catch the shows recorded on TonyandJosh.com.
Yep. Tune in each and every week, guys. We are going to assault your sensibilities and question your faith in humanity, and probably offend most of you. So we're going to do our best each and every week. Hope you guys join us, and make sure you guys tell a friend.
Have a great week.